been struggling with my weight since I was a kid. And then I had a few years with a lot of training, so my weight was no problem for me. And when I became father for the first time, my weight problem came back. And ever since, that's 30 years ago, I've been overweight, pretty much overweight, so to speak, obese. I had my gastroscopy done in July last year, in 2012, and I started to use the device 1st of August 2012, and since then I've actually lost 90 pounds or 40 kilos, 41 kilos actually, to be exact. And just a few weeks before that I actually was able to lose another 10 pounds. So altogether, since I decided to start the whole thing, it's 100 pounds. And I think I feel great about that. I love it. The biggest change in my life with this weight loss that I have had now is that actually my ability to play with my granddaughter Selma is a lot better than I would think of that I could do before that. She's 1.5 years now, so she's starting to move around. My sons and my daughter also tells me that I'm able to help them a lot in their homes and to do things with them that I couldn't do, or I could do, but it was a struggle for me before. So I'm a lot more movable than before, and I love it. I started my exercise a few months ago with starting to jogging and running, and then I have a personal trainer that I have had for a couple of years, and when I came back after my weight loss, he couldn't believe what he saw, so I had to start all over again with a new test on what my body looked like inside, and also what kind of program he wanted to put me on. So we decided to go more for building up a little bit of my muscles, which I feel great about, because that's one of the when you lose a lot of weight, you actually also lose some of your muscle mass, and that's something you need to take care of. And there is one huge change for me personally, and that is that I don't have to take any medications for my diabetes anymore. I don't have to take any medications for my blood pressure, my high blood pressure that I had, which is great. So I don't actually take any medications anymore. I love that. Well, the A2 placement, the surgical procedure was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I had, a little anxiety to do that gastroscopy, but it turned out to be really easy to do. On the other hand, there was a little bit more pain afterwards than I thought it would be. That was a surprise to me, but it just lasted for 3 or 4 days, and then it was totally gone. So it wasn't that much of a struggle. I was able to work. I did it on the Friday, so I was able to work on Monday again. I'm not sure everyone will be able to do that. It depends on what kind of work you have. But for most of people, I think that'll be the case actually. Well, when I started to flush and to use the device, I didn't have any expectations. I was just curious what it would be like to do it, and it was easier in the beginning than I thought it would be, but kind of rather quick I discovered that it all came out on the question how much I chew my food. So I started to be really, eager to chew everything I ate, and I found out really quick that there isn't actually anything that I can't eat. I can eat vegetables and all those things that I was told to be careful about with cauliflower and broccoli. There's no problem for me to eat that. Even raw broccoli is okay if I chew it properly. But that also gives me another advantage, because when I chew my food, it takes a lot longer for me to eat. So the signals to my brain from my stomach that I have actually eaten enough is coming when I just came through the first 1/3 or the half of my normal portion size. So the portion size went down really quickly. It took me a few weeks to learn not to fill my plate with the normal portion and then just leave half of it. So nowadays I give myself just half the normal portion I had before, and I eat that, and I feel fine with that, and then half an hour later I flush it. To use the device means that I have to first of all chew my food, and it takes a little bit longer for me to eat every meal. And then after that half an hour or 20 minutes I need to flush, and it takes me an average 5 to 10 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer. And I just fit that into my daily routine by just making it part of my daily routine. And with my kind of work, I don't have any problem with it, and I don't see any problem for anyone, because you really need, whatever work you do, you need to actually go to the toilet every now and then, I guess. So I don't see any problem with it, and I don't know any of my friends who is on the same device that have any problem with it. Well, when I decided to do the Aspire and to have my A-tube installed and to walk into the program, we had a lot of discussions at home about it, and from the beginning my wife didn't want me to do it because she didn't think I was that big, but I was. And I told her that it's totally my decision to do whatever I want, and when I then started to use it, she was really supportive about me using it and to do all the flushing that I needed to do. And so we had a good cooperation with that, and also in choosing food, a dinner that actually was a little bit easier to flush than other things, in the beginning at least. Now I don't have any problem with any food, as I said, so there's no discussion about things anymore. She saw that it really did something good for me, and she wanted me to. I mean, she knew that with my overweight, I was in the risk of getting a heart infarction or whatever, kind of all kinds of awful things happening to me, and she wanted to keep me alive for another couple of years. And she also respected my decision when I told her that if I can lose all my overweight, it might be so that I'm also not, I won't need any medication for either my diabetes or my high blood pressure, and that was actually what happened just a few weeks into the treatment. It was really quick, actually. So she became very, very supportive of me doing it, and then she likes me being look a little bit younger than before. So, and I love that too. But this is actually not the biggest jeans I had. It still is kind of impressive to see. This is the old mic and this is the new mic. So I think you can get the picture of that. I can't use this any more than maybe to scrub off some oil in my garage. But I actually love to go into a normal shop, normal store, and I can find my sizes anywhere, and I couldn't do that ever before, ever. It was only casual XL in the US, or back here Dressman XL, which is more or less the same. I hate that. I hated to buy clothes, and now it's the opposite. One question that I usually get from people, my friends, and at least in the beginning, was when you use the Aspire and you flush your dinner or lunch, do you get hungry immediately afterwards? And the answer is no, I don't. And the reason for that is kind of, there's a simple explanation to it, that if you chew your food and you give yourself the time you need to chew and eat, your signals from your stomach that you have had enough and you're satisfied hits your brain, and it actually tells your brain that you don't need to eat anymore. And when you then empty your stomach, or you take out those 30%, those signals stays in your brain that tells you that you're still not hungry. Yeah, I would say one advice that I would give to someone who is considering to do Aspire therapy is, why didn't you do this yesterday? Because it has been such an easy trip for me, and it is so easy to handle. And as I said, it doesn't alter anything of your normal social behavior, just do it. But you have to also know that if you don't chew your food, you can't flush. And if you can't flush, you don't lose any weight. It's that simple. About the whole Aspire therapy that I went through, there are actually two parts of it that I also would like to involve in the advice that I would give someone who is considering to start Aspire. That it's not only the physical A-tube and flushing that is essential for the success. It's also the lifestyle counseling and changing your behavior with food. And if you don't do that, you won't be successful. It's that simple too. So I was fortunate enough to go through a really good lifestyle program, and it changed me a lot, and it also helped my family to understand what was essential for my success, long-term success with my weight loss, and to keep my weight off. What I learned, the most important thing I learned was my thinking about food and food intake, and also my thinking about, do I really need to eat every time I feel sad, or if I have any problems in my life or whatever, just like, you know, kind of an eating disorder. Eating instead of just go through my problems in other ways. And that is a struggle, I think, for many people who are obese, that they have eating as a treat for themselves. And the lifestyle changing program that I went through really gave me tools to think before I open my mouth. If you want to structure it, it's also about your way of, it's kind of, you reflect over how you think about food and how what kind of food you're eating. If you're eating that crap food, or if you take more vegetables and all that. And that's the hardest thing, because you are so into your routines about eating your lunches at work and what kind of breakfast you have and all that. So for myself, I actually did it the easy way out. So I started to look into my normal behavior, my normal food intake. I was lucky because I was eating a lot of good food and not that much bad food or junk food. I still do eat some junk food, but I do think a lot more before I do it now than I did before, and that helped me through that therapy that I went through. And I think really that's something that people who want to do Aspire, they also need to reflect over, that it's not a quick fix. To keep your weight off for the rest of your life is not a quick fix. It takes a lot of work, but it's worth it. Every single minute of it.